Welcome back.
It's us.
Meme and Lego again, as always.
Nice to meet you.
And today, we're gonna talk about a subject that we kinda grew having that mentality to a point.
I mean, we came to appreciate its importance, I guess.
True. And as you can see from the title of the video, we're gonna be talking about gatekeeping. Especially how gatekeeping is destroying fandoms, is destroying communities, just by not being allowed for new people to be introduced to that subject.
Yeah.
This is mostly present within anime, comics, music, shows, video games.
Even certain activities, I think.
Yeah, true.
Martial arts. I think to some extent have a problem with gatekeeping. Especially some martial arts that focus on reenactment.
True.
Like HEMA.
Yeah.
For example. A lot of HEMA clubs will basically gatekeep members unless they're part of the friends group. So.
And honestly, as someone who grew up as a metalhead, then was punk addict.
If it wasn't obvious.
Yeah, if it wasn't obvious. I am ashamed to admit, but I did gatekeep. And from today's perspective, I can see that my actions ruined a lot of chances for other people to enjoy something that I enjoy. And that I cannot understand. Like, why would you as a person want to deny someone else to enjoy the same interests that you have? Like I said, mostly for me, it was with music. When I was a metalhead, I really behaved like, oh, you don't know this band? Or, oh, you like this band? Can you name 3 songs? Like, can you name 3 albums from the Ramones? Can you name 3 albums from Darth Vader? Like,
Oh, you still listen to them?
exactly. Like, oh, dude, you should listen to this new band. There's so much better.
Oh, you listen to trash metal? Oh, I did that last week. Now it's death metal, boy.
And
Oh, your genre is audible? Random noises, motherfucker. That's where it's at now.
And like I said, I really cannot understand that mentality. Like I said, I cannot understand myself for having that mentality in the past. Because, like I said, not only do you destroy the fun for someone else, you also lose a potential friend in the way by not being supportive of them discovering something for the first time. We've all discovered something for the first time. Imagine your favorite interest, whatever it may be. You love 40k.
Yeah, okay.
So imagine if you got into 40k. You're a noob. You know nothing. And there are people on the internet, there are people who were your friends or still are your friends that enjoy that thing. Now imagine if they didn't want to help you understand the law, didn't want to help you understand how the video games work. You wouldn't be here. You would lose one of your favorite interests. Now, is it their fault for not knowing something? Of course not. We are simple creatures and we need someone else to explain something in the easiest way possible. What gatekeeping does is not allowing people to develop that love. Maybe, this is just a maybe, that person that you're gatekeeping for, maybe they will be someone who will impact that field. Maybe they will develop that field even more. So you are always blocking someone, you're denying someone the possibility of improving that fandom, of improving that genre or whatever. Do you agree or?
I agree, but I'll let you finish before I can.
No, like I can go like this for days.
Go on before I make my points, okay?
So what I'm basically trying to say, I'm just gonna be short now, I guess, is
Hey, don't wrap up for me. Like,
no.
feel free to elaborate as much as you want.
No, trust me, this video is gonna be 15 minutes if it's only me talking.
All right.
But what I'm basically trying to say is that if you're gatekeeping something, it's mostly out of jealousy. You are gatekeeping that community because you're afraid of someone knowing more about that thing that you do, that you've been into for months, years, doesn't matter. You're afraid of someone stepping in right now and adapting that whole, not adapting it, but adapting to that whole community, understanding it more than you, and finding more love for that thing than you. And honestly, I really do think that gatekeeping comes from jealousy. I think it boils down to nothing more than I want to be better than you, even though you're not. I'll just say it out there. You are not better than anyone if you fucking gatekeep.
Okay, fair. You see, the problem with gatekeeping that I always have is that it has a negative side, and it's the side that you just described. It's people being jealous of someone else coming in, and they think that it'll muddle the community.
Yeah.
But there's also a positive side. And good that you brought up Star Wars and 40k, because they use both universes as an example. 40k is a universe that is heavily gate-kept, not exactly Star Wars. And here's the difference between those two, and why I think gatekeeping to an extent can be good. Gatekeeping keeps out the part of the crowd that wants too much demands, even though they don't have a solid grasp of the whole fandom. That happened with Star Wars. Once Disney acquired Star Wars, you had a slew of new fans joining the fandom who had no idea about Star Wars past some of the games that were released in the 2000s, like The Force Unleashed, maybe Empire at War or whatnot. Maybe they watched the prequels in the original trilogy. They have no idea about the expanded universe that followed afterwards, the comics, the books, whatnot. So what happened? These new fans started making demands. Oh, we want this, we want this. So what did Disney do? Disney retconned the expanded universe. Okay, a lot of the fandom was now gone. A lot of the hardcore fans were disappointed and mad at Disney. What happened? Eventually, Disney started to reintroduce a lot of the plot lines and plot points from the expanded universe, just with a different color and rebranding. And that's the problem, when these new fans start demanding too much. On the other end, you have 40k, which is a good example of a fandom remaining adamant to change. 40k has become very popular in recent years, especially popular. Even so that a celebrity like Henry Cavill, he is mad over 40k.
Yeah.
It's actually something that's a significant part of his life. So much so he's a star of the latest series on 40k, I think, that's being made for Amazon. What happened with 40k is, for context, a lot of new fans started getting in and started demanding things, just as with Star Wars, that didn't make sense. One of the biggest demands was, for feminists at least, that were getting into it, why aren't there any female space marines? According to the lore, you can have female space marines. It's impossible. You have sororitas though. You have all these other sects of the Empire that are solely female. And that's part of 40k. There's these different groups. They all have a complex relationship to each other. The fans understand that. That's why they wouldn't allow this new group, this new influx of people to come in and to dictate what will be had and what not. Because here's the problem. Nowadays, it's hard to have a fandom that isn't on the market. Because most fandoms stem from a certain idea, a corporation, a game, a book, or whatnot. Whenever these corporations, or these businesses, see that there's an influx of new people, they want to capitalize on that.
That is true.
And this is the problem. Because
That is
yes,
true.
you have your loyal fans who maybe are emotionally invested in the fandom, but they aren't invested with capital. And you have these new people who are willing to invest capital into the fandom, so you have to cater to them. And that's how fandoms change.
Yeah.
That's when gatekeeping is actually good. When the fandom gets overly corporatized, let's say.
Okay.
When the market weighs too much heavily on how the fandom will develop later on. What do you think?
I mean, I don't agree that the fandom should dictate how a comic, how a show, how a band should continue. And I'll personally stick more to the music side. And you can say if you don't agree with me. A band that we both love, Linkin Park. I'm sure most of you grew up with or are still growing up with them because they make amazing music.
Facts.
They were heavily gate kept.
Yeah.
To the point where the fans were gatekeeping the band. They did not approve of the change they had with Living Theory, with, well, first A Thousand Suns, I think it was called.
Yeah.
Then Hunting Party. They were not happy with that. To the point where the fandom was gatekeeping Linkin Park. You, as a fan, you do not have any right to tell the creators of whatever it is how it should go. Because you are a fan of the story that the creators create, that the story writers create, that the musicians create. As a fan, you should be happy that it's getting popular because, like you said, it means more profit for them, which means you're gonna get a lot more since they're making profit out of it. Why should they stop? The problem is when you, as a fan, tell the writer, the creator, blah blah blah, no, you shouldn't do this. You do it this way. I'm not happy with this way. Okay, fine. Stop watching. Just stop watching. Don't gatekeep the community. And like I said, the biggest problem: don't gatekeep the creator, because you like Star Wars, right?
If it wasn't obvious.
Yeah. I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. So you know more about Star Wars lore than I do. However, the difference is you and I have different expectations of what Star Wars should be, of what the next show, what the next movie should be. Neither you nor I will find pleasure because it's not gonna go our way. When the new trilogies, whatever they were called,
they were named the sequels.
Whatever.
Yeah, because you have the
Those-
prequels,
yeah,
the
the
original,
original and the
trilogy, and now
sequel,
the
yeah.
sequels.
Everyone was like, "Oh, Kylo Ren and Rey, yeah, Rey,
Rey.
should be a couple. Oh, they really should be a couple." No.
I'm gonna interject real quick, because in the new movie that's gonna come out, the ghost of Kylo Ren actually knocks up Rey. So, you got your wish. You got your wish.
No, I didn't. I did not. Because if they didn't do that, if Disney didn't go with that, they were gonna lose a lot of fans. And that means they're gonna lose a lot of money. So the fans actively managed to change a scenario. Don't quote me on this, I'm not sure if that was the whole plan of the show, of the movies, if it wasn't. But there are a lot of shows that change their whole stories because of the fans. And at that point, you're not watching something original. You're not watching something that the creators want to put out there. Imagine you're reading a book. One of my favorite my favorite books ever is Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
I love that book. Now imagine, you know that there's a guy and you know how the story is gonna go, and he's writing the book, right? And everyone on the internet is like, "Oh, no, he shouldn't." Spoiler alert if you haven't read that book, even though it's super old. Spoiler alert. "Oh, no, he shouldn't go out that way." And now imagine that the writer changes that part because the fan base is not allowed. Is it his story? No, because the fans dictated. Then it's their story. And when it comes to arts, because gatekeeping is mostly what I'm talking right now about, I'm talking mostly about arts. If you are trying to change something you don't like in art, you're not gonna get the complete story that it was intended. You're gonna get your version of the story. That's why fan fictions exist.
Yeah.
Because you're not happy with it, write a fucking fan fiction.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, I personally don't like fan fictions, but there's a lot of good fan fictions.
Yeah.
And you can just read those because you are here to just go on the journey that the creator is trying to portray. And that's why I will always say that gatekeeping is never good, no matter what.
I mean, either fan fiction or headcanon.
Sorry?
Or headcanon.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's the other option. There's so many fandoms nowadays with so many conclusions, just as you said, that not everybody is gonna like the conclusion that's given by the
Yeah, that's what I'm
author.
saying.
So, headcanon for the win, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right. What do you guys think?
Let us know in the comments below. Share your thoughts about gatekeeping. Do you gatekeep? And we'll see you in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.